After grand juries in St. Louis and New York City voted not to indict police officers for the killing of unarmed black men, people have taken to the streets from D.C. to Oakland to Chicago. The unrest is now hitting close to home.
Boulder has now become one of many cities all over the country to have demonstrators come out and protest what they see as a broken American justice system.
Many Boulder demonstrators showed up to march on a bustling holiday weekend to bring attention to what they feel is severe racial profiling turned deadly.
For me, it's just about being accountable and just being a human. I think human lives matter.
And these are issues that we tend to bury and think that it's a part of past issues like the civil rights movement. And, we live in this seemingly colorblind society, and people are under the impression that race no longer exists. But, this is a lived experience for a lot of people, including myself.
The protesters then marched through downtown Boulder, stopping first at the Pearl Street Mall and then at various intersections to stage die-ins.
Protesters behind me are currently participating in a die-in, lying on the pavement for 11 minutes to represent the 11 times Eric Gardner said, "I can't breathe," before he died at the hands of New York police.
The die-ins shut intersections down. Many who had to wait in cars were sympathetic to the cause.
I mean, it's a Saturday. I was just out shopping. It's not a huge deal for me. I definitely feel for the cause, so I'm not involved in the protest or anything, but, I'm not too put out by it.
Others weren't quite as patient. When the protests moved to the 29th Street Apple Store, some people filmed, most just went about their business. One customer became agitated, telling die-in protesters, "I hope you stay dead forever." He was then angered at the sight of our videographer's camera.
If I'm on that camera, it's your ass.
That customer broke our camera, putting an end to our filming of the protests, which continued well into the evening. Cops were supportive, but didn't see the need for protests.
Well, to us, it's frustrating when you work in a community like Boulder, where I think we have a great police department, but the impact of events in other countries are painted with a broad brush, and all police officers are then painted with that same broad brush of negativity, when maybe that's not the case here.
Data from the FBI and Census, however, shows that police in Boulder arrest black residents at 5 times the rate of non-blacks. Paris Farabee, president of CU Boulder's Black Student Alliance, recently led a moment of silence on campus. She says she's experienced racism here firsthand.
There were times that I was called the N-word, or that I was watched going to my dorm, or I was asked if I even lived or went to school here. I've had eggs thrown at me before.
Ultimately, it seems all protesters are encouraging action and working toward a larger goal.
So I think it's important just to always support, no matter what color you are or what culture you identify with or what identities you identify with, just to always stand up for something that doesn't feel right, in your human gut.
I embrace this time of my life because it's necessary for something bigger than me that's going to happen. That's how I look at it.
Paris told us many of her minority friends have left CU in anger and frustration, but she's going to stay and continue the fight for equality.
I'm begging you right now, please do something more.
With CU News, I'm Kelsey Ray.